Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day, my oh my, it's Friday, 7th day of November, 2025. I'm Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. As you can see behind me, a beautiful sunrise is just now happening here all over north central Washington. Clear skies, 45 degrees. We're done with the rain for a while anyway. A little breezy today. Very pleasant weekend coming up. Those overnight lows, which have been very mild because of the heavy cloud cover, are no longer going to be very mild. Some pretty chilly overnight lows. Officially at Pangborn, now you got to keep in mind when we ever talk about the afternoon highs, the overnight lows, relative humidity, precipitation, wind, all that stuff, all of that is measured at Pangborn Memorial Airport because you got to put it someplace, and it's been there since 1959. So officially at Pangborn yesterday, 0.11 inches of rain, a little over 1/10 of an inch of rain. Felt like we got more. We've had measurable rain every day this month, except last Sunday, November 2nd. We didn't get any rain that day. Well, now we're done with the precipitation. We can dry out. Forecast details are coming up. It's not looking too bad at all. News, yes, sports, lots. It's Friday. It's November. Football will dominate the conversation, but there's other stuff going on as well in the world of sports. Marlene and Beryl will be joining me in the back half of the program from Sustainable NCW. Marlene Farrell is the executive director. She runs the place. Always good to hear from Sustainable NCW. And Beryl Bils is new to the organization. She's been there since late this summer, running a new kind of a bike program, which is pretty cool. They got some grant money and they brought her in. Great conversation. You don't want to miss that. That'll happen in the back half of the program. And Mike Mignotti has an opinion too. Let's tour. What do we have? We have this. That is the Wenatchee Heights camera, but we have it pointed down towards Rock Island, where the sun is getting the job done. 6:54 sunrise this morning, about 8 minutes ago. Sunset tonight, 4:34, 9 hours and 40 minutes. We hit 53 yesterday at Pangborn. Our normal high is 48, so slightly warmer than normal. And a lot of rain again, and some wind. We had some serious wind last night. Still some residual breeze out there, but it'll calm down as the day progresses. Good morning to Arundel Rock. There's just a few clouds hanging over Mission Ridge, and that's really about it. They've been cranking out snow, by the way, on Mission Ridge. They've been doing it for about a week now. It looks pretty good that they might be opening right around Thanksgiving. I haven't checked in with my friends up on the mountain yet. I will endeavor to do so. The Arundel Rock camera looking right down towards the Wenatchee Valley. Our third camera. Ooh, that's pretty. That's Jump Off Ridge. You rotate that thing to the left, and you see the Wenatchee Valley. You rotate it that direction towards Quincy, and that is what you see from our Jump Off Ridge camera. That's another communications tower. Jump Off Ridge, because of its physical location to the Wenatchee Valley, has a lot of repeaters, translators, transmitters, things like that. And that's a beautiful view there. And as you can see, because it's an exposed ridge, it's a little breezy up on top of Jump Off Ridge, but on the other hand, nobody lives there, so there's that. And the Bear Mountain camera, there's Wapato Point, just outside of Manson. Nice view there from our Bear Mountain camera. That camera is one of my favorites because that golf course is one of my favorites. The golf course is actually on the other side of the Bear Mountain Ridge, but anyway, good morning to Manson. Good to see you today. Don't have any weather slides to show for you. It's kind of just here we go. So from our friends at Colonial Vista, a lot of sunshine today, but a little on the breezy side. We'll top off at about 52, which is a little bit above normal. Again, a little windy, wind out of the west about 7 to 10 miles an hour, and gusts above 20 at times. Not nearly as windy as it was yesterday evening and in the overnight hours. It woke me up a couple of times, the wind did. And now with the clear skies, we get chilly, 33 for the overnight low. Saturday, lots of sunshine, temperature just about normal. High of 49, looks pretty good. Cloudy, however, on Saturday night as a weak system rolls through, and then we'll see some sunshine on Sunday, mixed with clouds, but the sun it'll be about 70% sun, 30% clouds on Sunday to wrap up your weekend, and a high of 52. Back to work on Monday with a high of 55. We got some warm air coming in out the Pacific Ocean. Going to slide up and warm us up quite a bit. Beautiful day for a parade on Veterans Day. We've had rain, we've had it really cold. I think partly sunny and 55 on Veterans Day is about as good as you can ask for mid-November, and that's pretty much what we're going to see. Next chance of measurable rain, by the way, comes Wednesday. That's a quick look at your weather forecast. We're going to take a break and do the news. You're watching a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. I've been helping people for nearly a decade understand their Medicare options. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand coverage options so you can feel confident in your Medicare decision. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or see me at my office in Wenatchee with easy parking and entrance.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. Warm up with one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
Beautiful morning, lots of sunshine, 45 degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley, outside of a little wind at times. It's going to be a beautiful day today, not a bad weekend at all. In fact, after all this rain that we've had this week, the weather is going to be downright benign right into the early part of next week. It's just about 8 minutes after the hour. A 35-year-old motorist was arrested yesterday morning after crashing at the Easy Street roundabout and then fleeing from the scene on foot. Wenatchee Police Sergeant Kevin Battis says another driver spotted an East Wenatchee man behind the wheel of a Mini Cooper at about 8:14 yesterday morning, driving erratically westbound over the Otobashian Bridge. Well, the suspect allegedly drove straight across the center of the roundabout. Rather than using the roundabout, it damaged the undercarriage of the car, disabled the automobile. Battis says the man then jumped out of the car and ran north into the Sunny Slope neighborhood. Bystanders near the U.S. Forest Service office discovered him hiding in some bushes, and they pulled him out. Police arrested him. He has not been publicly identified, but he faces charges of hit and run and driving under the influence. Well, the Lake Chelan School District's $73 million school modernization bond will not pass. It has failed. It got just over 51% of approval by voters in that district on Tuesday's election. It's a bond, so it needs a 60% supermajority to pass, and it did not. Updated results on Wednesday showed 1,090 people in the district voted to approve the measure. 1,034 people voted to reject it. There were residents in Okanagan County. They're a part of the Lake Chelan School District that were eligible to vote for the bond. Only 6 who live in Okanagan County actually did. 5 for the bond, 1 against it. If it had passed, the district would have rebuilt Morgan Owens Elementary School, made safety and ADA accessible updates to the middle and high schools, and improved the Mountain Goat Field Complex. Superintendent Brad Wilson said in a statement that the district recognizes it may be a difficult time for residents to support funding facilities. Residents in the Lake Wenatchee Fire District have succeeded in a lawsuit to overturn the election that approved a $15 million bond issue over the summer. Lake Wenatchee Fire and Rescue would have used that money to build a new fire station and make improvements to the existing fire stations. But a group of residents sued, saying the fire district violated the Open Meetings Act while they were developing the bond proposal. Well, in a court hearing on Monday, Chelan County Judge Travis Brandt agreed. ruling that fire commissioners committed several public meeting violations, and those violations probably affected the outcome of the August election. Brandt has yet to issue a formal written opinion. Lake Wenatchee Fire and Rescue will have the option to appeal that case. A judge has blocked Chelan County's attempt to place a moratorium on new tax increment financing districts. Douglas County Judge Brian Huber on Tuesday signed a preliminary injunction that prevents Chelan County from enforcing the rule it adopted last month. Chelan County commissioners are at odds with the Chelan-Douglas Regional Port Authority over the port's proposal for a 3,200-acre TIF district in Malaga. A TIF district reallocates future property taxes within a specific area to pay for public improvements. The county and some junior taxing districts, like the Wenatchee Valley Fire Department, they have argued that a TIF district would damage their future revenue. Huber's ruling says the county's moratorium would infringe on the port's ability to create TIF districts, which is granted by state law. County commissioners say they plan to ask the judge to reconsider his ruling. And the Court of Appeals says a Douglas County sex offender who petitioned nearly a year ago to expunge the legal fees from his prosecution deserves a court hearing. Yilman Martinez Gonzalez pled guilty in 2023 to first-degree child rape and molestation committed against a 12-year-old victim 3 years earlier. Judge Brian Huber sentenced him to 12 years in prison and also ordered him to pay a $100 DNA collection fee and a $500 fee for a crime victim penalty assessment. Well, after he was sentenced, state law changed to eliminate the mandatory DNA fee and to end the practice of assessment fees for impoverished defendants. Martinez petitioned the Douglas County Court last December to remove those fees. His request languished without a hearing. The appeals court ruled yesterday that Douglas County must act on that petition and decide whether to waive those fees. That's the news. At 12 minutes after the hour, one more newscast before your weekend gets going, and it'll come your way tonight. At 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, the NCW Life Evening News. At 5, 6, and 10, that's the television times. But most people, well, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of people have now no longer consumed television the old-fashioned way. They've unplugged. That's cool. We got you covered. If you got Roku, we're on there. If you got, well, it's all right there. If you got Fire TV, we're on that. If you got Apple TV, we're on that. If we stream, well, we do stream. If you have a computer with the internet, and you do, you have that. And our news will be posted, by the way, on our homepage and on our YouTube page with a link on our Facebook page. We try to make our newscast as accessible as possible. If you got a news tip, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. A lot of sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Raising a family may have seemed overwhelming to your parents, but they weren't. Coach, teacher, life guide, caregiver. Family takes care of family. And as the circle of life continues, you now are their caregiver. It may seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you find the support services necessary so you can provide quality care to your elders.
Call Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington at 1-800-572-4459.
When flooding hit Serve Wenatchee, their office and Fresh Hope Market were devastated. But their mission to help prevent homelessness in this valley hasn't stopped, and neither will we. I'm Todd McLaughlin, General Manager at Apple Valley Honda. Now through the end of the year, we're donating $25 to Serve Wenatchee every time someone takes a test drive. And if you happen to buy a vehicle, we'll give an additional $100 in your name. Because when our neighbors are in need, this community steps up, and we're proud to be part of that.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
Merry Maids can clean your entire home, business, or vacation rental from top to bottom, inside and out. Merry Maids will even take care of cleaning your carpets, and they can pressure wash your home. Merry Maids has thousands of happy customers. They've been cleaning homes and businesses in our valley for over 25 years. Check out their glowing reviews at MaryMaidsOfWenatchee.com and call the cleaning experts, Mary Maids, to get your free estimate. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. So relax, it's done.
Quarter after the hour, football. You like football? You got a great weekend coming up. We'll start out with colleges. Eastern Washington kicks things going. They visit Montana. That'll be at noon. You can watch that on ESPN Plus. I don't have it. Number 23, Washington is at Wisconsin. 1:30 kickoff there. That'll be on the Big Ten Network. And 8th-ranked Central Washington visits Sul Ross State at 5 o'clock. Washington State doesn't play anybody. Seahawks, they're at home on Sunday, taking on a division rival. You want to win the games that involve the Cardinals, the Rams, and the other teams in the division, like the 49ers. They'll have a chance to do that Sunday afternoon at 1:05 as they take on Arizona at Lumen Field. The other matchup in the division has the Rams in Santa Clara to take on the 49ers. That's 1:25 on Fox. Well, the Kraken, they looked really bad Wednesday, of course. They lost to San Jose 6-1. It wasn't even that close. Tomorrow they'll be in St. Louis to take on the Blues. 4 o'clock is when they'll drop the puck, and that'll be televised on Kong TV. The Wenatchee Panther girls soccer team won their 4th consecutive District 5 4A championship last night. They beat their rivals, Eastmont, 2-0 at Liebofta Field at the Apple Bowl. Panthers scored 2 goals in the opening 5 minutes, and that was all they needed to do. Madison Norton and Berkeley Bowles with the tallies. Wenatchee is heading back to state again. Congratulations to the Panthers. We'll find out who they'll play in the first round of the state tournament on Sunday. And Moses Lake ended Eisenhower's season with a 1-0 victory last night. So the Mavericks will take on Eastmont tomorrow in East Wenatchee for one last chance at state. That'll be at Wildcat Stadium at 1 o'clock. Other soccer, Royal is the site for the final rounds of the District 5 1A tournament. Cascade will take on Riverside. That's at 1 o'clock, while Luke follows. They'll take on Lakeside at a 9 Mile Falls at 3. And then Cashman will take on Natchez Valley for the district championship at 5 o'clock. And the final day of the District 5 1B 2B tournament is at Central Washington University tomorrow. Pateros will play Liberty Bell at 11. That'll be followed by Okanagan and Highland at 1 o'clock. And then Brewster and Cle Elum at 3 o'clock. For the championship. Indoors volleyball, Wenatchee High School will be the site for the District 5 4A district tournament tomorrow. Wenatchee will play Davis for the district championship at 12 noon. At the same time in the other gym, Ike will take on West Valley. The winner between Ike and West Valley will play the loser between Wenatchee and Davis for one last chance to get to state. That'll be at 2 o'clock. The District 5 2B tournament moves to Moses Lake. Liberty Bell will take on Cle Elum at 10:30. Brewster faces LaSalle. Manson takes on Riverview at noon. The final 3 matches in the District 5 1A tournament are split to 3 locations. Kashmir and Chelan will meet for the district title. That'll be Wenatchee High School at 5 o'clock. Early in the day at 1, Omak will host Medical Lake. Zilla will be at Lakeside 9 Mile Falls for a shot at state at 2 o'clock. Football, round of 32 begins tonight and goes through tomorrow. Wenatchee qualified for the round of 32. They're going to travel to Pasco, take on Chiawana tonight. Panthers are 4-4. They haven't played in a couple of weeks. Coach Taylor Mitchell says the week off is going to help them get healthy.
It's always nice being healthy going into the playoffs. So we were still able to have some really competitive practices out here, which I thought was great. So yeah, we're fired up and ready to go, playing against a really good team. Obviously undefeated, won their conference this year. well coached. It's kind of nice. There's some similarities to what they do defensively to what we saw 2 weeks ago now against Sunnyside. So it's kind of nice, two opponents, at least on the offensive side of the ball, going into this game where it's like, hey, we've seen something like this super recently. But yeah, really well-rounded football team, and it'll be a good test for us.
Senior offensive lineman Jacob Paniotu talked to our own Eric Granstrom about facing a team that has a strong playoff background.
Yeah, I definitely think their film, I think the name kind of makes everyone sound big and scary, and I think that they have some good play in their league, but I think that, we have some Big Nine's a good league too, so I think we can compete and put up some points against them. I don't think their film's anything, out of the water, like crazy, but they look like a good team, and I think they're well coached, but I hope we can compete with them.
It's funny you say that. Do you know what Chiawana means?
I have no clue.
Okay. I just looked it up, so it's not like I have inside information, but you said water. Chiawana, the school board down there in the Tri-Cities, they named it, it's a Native American term for big river or father of water. And you look at Wenatchee, Wenatchee means waters from a valley or waters from a mountain. So, water finds its level, right?
I guess it does. Yeah, I guess it means the
I know.
same thing.
I'm reaching.
Wenatchee kicks off against Chiawana down in Pasco. That'll be at 6 o'clock tonight. Eastmont's on the road. They've made the round of 32. They're going to take on the defending champions in the 4A division. They have a tall task. They'll be at Sumner tonight. Coach Jay Foster says they're very similar to a team that they played last week, which was Enumclaw.
Physical type team. Obviously the tailback McGee, we've played at Davis, and really talented kid. This will be the most talented football team, physically talented football team that we've played up to this point. But there's things that I think we can take advantage of. Will we or not? I don't know. Yeah. But the similarities, and I think we match up fairly well against them. It's just a matter, can we get it done?
Unfortunately for the Wildcats, they will be without Bodie Yale. He is their leading rusher. He is out under concussion protocol, and also Austin Zielinski missed most of last week, but he's supposed to be back tonight.
Yeah, I'll be good to go. I'll be 100% by tomorrow, but yeah, it's gonna suck having Bodie, but I think Jeff will be able to step up.
Can you talk about what happened to you?
So I got a bone contusion in my shin. Ooh. So yeah, we're gonna have to kind of like throw padding on there because it's still gonna hurt during the game, but I'll have to tough it up.
Sumner's a good team. You guys obviously it's all about your running game. I mean, who's kidding who? So talk about what you see from looking at film from them. Are you guys going to be able to pound the rock?
They have very physical linebackers and stuff, and they rally to the ball. It's not just one-on-one tackling. The entire team just goes to the ball, and it's going to be a fight for each yard we get.
Eastmont at Sumner. Kickoff is tonight at 7 o'clock. The undefeated Mavericks of Moses Lake will take its undefeated record into tomorrow's game. They will host 5-4 Issaquah at Lions Field. Smaller schools, Kashmir, they don't have to play till tomorrow, which is fine by me. In the one-over crossover game, third-ranked Royal, the defending state champions and winners of 44 games in a row. They're at home. They'll take on Kingsway Christian at 6 o'clock. OMAC is 6-3. They'll travel to 7-2 Colville at 7. The Kashmir Bulldogs are at home tomorrow. They'll host Kalama. Kashmir is 8-1. They are ranked 6th going into the matchup. The Chinook are 4-4. Kickoff tomorrow in Kashmir at 2 o'clock. Count them, 5 CWAC teams have reached the 2A crossover games, starting with Prosser. They'll in North Mason. That'll be tonight at 6 o'clock. Ephrata plays at Steilacoom tomorrow at 2. 6th-ranked Othello will host Renton. Rogers visits number 2 East Valley of Yakima. And that's a long bus trip. Sela on the road all the way up to Bellingham to take on Seaholm. The 2B crossover playoffs start tonight at 6 o'clock. Cle Elum will take on Tenasket. Okanagan will host Warden at 7. Brewster is also home tonight against Columbia Burbank. That's at 7 o'clock. And then tomorrow afternoon, Libertyville will host White Swan at 3. And there were 3 games played last night. Orville shut out Soap Lake 54-0. Antioch edged Bridgeport 28-22. Moses Lake Christian whipped up on Waterville Mansfield 50-12. Manson is hosting Medical Lake tonight at 6. Orville takes on Moses Lake Christian in the 1B playoffs. That'll be at Lions Field in Moses Lake tomorrow night at 6. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. 3 obscure holidays cross my desk. Today is National Bittersweet Chocolate with Almonds Day. It's International Project Management Day. I don't know what that is. I've never managed a project before. But today, and this holiday actually exists, It's National Hug a Bear Day today. Now, if you go out in the backcountry or in the woods or in the forest or whatever it is, and you see a black bear, which are more common around here, you see a black bear or even a brown bear, and you attempt to give it a hug, don't blame me. You really shouldn't hug bears. If you have a stuffed teddy bear, I have no problems with that. But bears don't, to my knowledge, don't like to be hugged by humans. Well, there's Betty White hugging a bear. National Hug a Bear Day today. Proceed with caution. Today in history, of course, we're doing presidential elections this first week in November. And we wrap it up with a whole bunch of presidential elections and results. The 1876 presidential election, and this was a boondoggle. It was crazy. Rutherford B. Hayes of Ohio, the governor, defeats the governor of New York, Sam Tilden. He is elected the 19th president of the United States, but this was just a fiasco. After the votes were counted, Sam Tilden had 184 electoral votes. Hayes had 165 electoral votes, and there were 20 votes from 4 states that they couldn't agree upon. In Florida, Louisiana, and South Carolina, both the Democrats and the Republicans said, we won the state. So they cut a deal. That's what they're supposed to do. After the 1876 presidential election, we got into January of 1877, they still didn't have a deal. So they cut a deal. The Democrats gave up all 20 of their electoral votes to the Republicans and Rutherford B. Hayes. So Rutherford B. Hayes won 185 electoral votes to 184 electoral votes for Samuel Tilden. In exchange for that, the Republicans agreed to withdraw all the federal troops that were still stationed in the South after the Civil War. So basically Reconstruction came to an end as a political deal. So Sam Tilden, who got 51.5% of the popular vote, didn't win the election. He remains to this day the one person with the most popular votes received by a candidate that didn't actually win the presidency. That was a fiasco, but there's an even bigger fiasco heading our way in a couple of minutes. The 1916 presidential election. The incumbent, Woodrow Wilson, narrowly defeats Charles Evans Hughes, the Republican candidate. Charles Evans Hughes was a Supreme Court Associate Justice. He stepped down from the Supreme Court, to run for the presidency. You don't see that anymore. Final electoral tally, Wilson 277, Charles Evans Hughes 254. It all came down to late results from California. Wilson won California and therefore the presidency by about 3,700 votes. In Chelan County, check this out, Charles Evans Hughes won Chelan County, 48%. The Republican, Woodrow Wilson, got 44%. In Douglas County, Woodrow Wilson got 60% of the vote. And the urban legend is that when Charles Evans Hughes went to bed on Tuesday night, November 7th, he thought he was going to be elected the next president, and he went to bed. He figured, I'm going to win California, win the presidency. Early the next morning, a reporter called to give him the update that Wilson had in fact won California. And the aide who answered the phone for Charles Evans Hughes says, the president can't be disturbed right now. He's sleeping. And the reporter said, well, when he wakes up, tell him he wasn't elected president after all. This was the 1916 presidential election. The 1944 presidential election, you can make it 4 in a row for FDR. He defeats Thomas E. Dewey to win an unprecedented 4th term. The popular vote was pretty close. The Electoral College was not. 432 for Roosevelt, 99 for Dewey. This was the last presidential election that the old Solid South, which was all a Democratic stronghold, went for the Democratic Party, starting with the next presidential election in 1948 with Harry Truman. The Republicans began to make inroads in Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and Georgia. Locally, Thomas E. Dewey won Chelan County, 52% of the vote. Roosevelt won Douglas County, by the way, in 1944 by 23 votes. The 1972 presidential election. The true story of Watergate will probably never be known, but we do know that Nixon and his plumbers and the creep organization did a lot of dirty stuff to get Nixon reelected. Probably really didn't need it. Nixon swarmed over George McGovern to easily win re-election. This remains the last time a presidential candidate captured more than 60% of the popular vote. Electoral vote, Nixon 520, McGovern 17, Chelan County, Nixon 60% of the vote, Douglas County, Nixon 60% of the vote. This is the 25th anniversary of the 2000 presidential election, which took about a month. George W. Bush, the governor of Texas, and of course the son of George H.W. Bush, beats Al Gore to be elected president of the United States. Of course, on election night, nobody knew who won. Nobody knew who won the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. It all went down to Florida. There was an automatic recount in the state of Florida, and then came the legal battles, lawsuits, countersuits to the countersuits. Finally, the Supreme Court stepped in, and in their famous 5-4 decision, ordered the recount to be stopped. So essentially, by winning Florida, George W. Bush won the presidency. George W. Bush won the state of Florida by 537 votes. That's 0.009%. It took forever. We all remember that, if you're around anymore. One non-election note to pass along to you. 85 years ago today, just 4 months after it opened to traffic over the Tacoma Narrows, Gallopin' Gertie came crashing down. Here is the footage, the original Tacoma Narrows Bridge. As soon as it opened 4 months earlier in June, they knew immediately they got problems, because whenever the wind whipped through the Tacoma Narrows, and it blows through the Tacoma Narrows almost all the time, the bridge would do that. And on November 7th, 1940, the winds were very, very strong. The car on the bridge belonged to an editor at the Tacoma News-Tribune. His name is Leonard Coatsworth. That's his car. He's in the middle of the bridge. He said, I think I'm going to just get out of here. There's Leonard, desperately trying to walk his way across the swaying bridge. How he did that, I don't know. Leonard was driving from one side of the bridge to the other to bring his daughter's dog back. His Cocker Spaniel, his daughter's Cocker Spaniel, was in the car. The dog would not get out. Two people, when the bridge stopped swaying for a few minutes, ran back out to try to get Tubby the dog out of the car. Tubby was so freaked out, he actually bit one of the rescuers. Then the bridge started to sway again. The rescuers, would-be rescuers, got the heck off the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. And a couple of minutes after that, Gallopin' Gertie meets her fate, falls to the bottom of the Narrows. Of course, Tubby died when the bridge fell. Neither Tubby's body nor the car was ever recovered. By the way, the owner of the car, Leonard Coatsworth, he got money. He got $450 in reimbursement for his car, and he got $364 in reimbursement for the contents of the car, including poor Tubby. Pretty sure this guy's in heaven as we do birthdays. If you add up television, radio, and personal appearances, nobody has preached the gospel. Nobody in the history of mankind has preached the gospel to more people than the Reverend Billy Graham, who was born 107 years ago today. I mean, think about it. Through his crusades and radio and television broadcasts, which used to be everywhere, they consider him the guy. I mean, the guy. And this amazing fact about Billy Graham, he was on the Gallup's list of most admired men in this country 61 times. Billy Graham. And Joni Mitchell. She's 82 years old today. Happy birthday, Joni. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors. Overnight lows are going to get down to freezing by the weekend. You saw the forecast. Now, my heating system really hasn't had to do a lot of work lately. It's been kind of mild, but it will get cold. And you want to make sure that your HVAC is ready for it. Give Alpine Air a call. An opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and then it's always great to visit with our friends at Sustainable NCW. And we will do exactly that when we come back. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, I'm really pretty conservative. I always have been. I really don't like big government. I think taxes are too high. And I'm sorry, but I think Democrats have a tendency to be self-righteous, and they jump to unjustified conclusions when Republicans do things they don't like. However, I've never been a Republican, and I'll tell you now, I never will be. The Republicans allowing themselves to be under the thumb of that man who is the head of their party, they repel me. And while I may be disenchanted with Democrats, I'm disgusted by the Republican Party's willingness to sell their soul. And for what, I ask? And I do believe there are many others in this great country of ours who are beginning to feel the same way. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. Tour moseslake.com and start your adventure today.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
It's my bad when we don't have Sustainable NCW on my show more often. I get a lot of solicitations from a lot of people who want to come on the show to talk about their event or what's going on in their world, everything pertinent to the North Central Washington area. I can't say no to Marlene because I'm the one who reached out to Marlene as opposed to the other way around. Marlene Farrell has been on this program 4 or 5 times. Maybe we should just give you a key to the building.
Thank you. I
Something
like that.
She's the head lady. She's the executive director of Sustainable NCW, and you brought a friend with you. Introduce your friend.
Yeah, this is Beryl, and Beryl is our bike education coordinator. Started a few months ago, and she's been doing an awesome job, and is full-time leading multiple bike education programs that I'll let Beryl talk about.
Bike education program must have said somebody in your board sometime in the spring or summer said we need one of these. How did that kind of organically develop that we need somebody to take care of the bike part of what we're a part of?
Yeah, so that we call that our Sustainable Bike Co-op, and it has a couple different branches, including the space that we have that is going to be eventually open to the public for bike repair. That's a free lease through the YMCA, so amazing partnership there, and that's at their new location. And between having kind of that part starting and then doing a lot more in the schools, but we started some things in the spring before Beryl came on under one grant, and then we received a second grant, and it required us to have a full-time person dedicated to doing these programs with middle schoolers and high schoolers. And so we put out the job announcement in the summertime, and Beryl applied, and she was our best candidate. So, and she's been very busy since then, because it's like we wanted to get the program started this fall, and starting in August, a lot to kind of like coordinate with schools and our partners. That's through, we're partnering closely with Wenatchee Cafe. It's kind of, we collaborate on this grant. And we're at 2 schools, and I'll let Beryl talk more about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated, but obviously there was a need for it, despite the fact that if you want this funding, you need to bring in somebody full time, and you did. I know you bike. You're pretty into the biking thing. Anything outdoors you're into, Marlene. I suppose your biggest skill set was I can ride a bike and not fall off, because that's about all I can do.
Yeah, I can definitely ride a bike and not fall off. Biking is definitely one of my favorite things to do. I like to mountain bike. I like to road bike. I like to gravel bike, definitely as a favorite. And so I have a lot of passion that's leading me behind wanting to bring an after-school program and teach kids the joys of biking.
Being from Minnesota, which is a pretty heavy biking community, but correct me if I'm wrong, this is one of the best communities out there anywhere in the Pacific Northwest to be a biker, because we have it all. If you're into speed, you can go out in some of the old roads that are paved but very rarely traveled, and you can fly, or you can just casually go around the loop, or you can go mountain biking. I mean, regardless of what kind of way you want to ride a bike, it's all here, right?
Yeah, I would say that there's a lot of recreational biking out there, and sometimes that's because we're such a big biking community, that is kind of the barrier to entry for some of these kids and some of these less served communities, is that they see it as this fun thing that is really expensive a lot of times, that there's already a huge community surrounding. And so we're really trying to target those communities that might not be able to afford biking or see biking as something that's not really for them. And so we're giving access to these kids who might not be able to afford a bike. Their family has never owned a bike. Their family has never encouraged them to bike. And so through this program, every single kid who takes the program, it's a free program, gets a free bike at the end. They get a bike, they get a lock, they get lights, and they get a helmet.
Free is a correct me if I'm wrong, but free is like a really good price.
Yeah, it's a very good price.
It's like remarkable. So you're gonna set up shop once they're done with their campus at the bottom of 5th Street at the Y. You have a temporary thing right now, right?
Correct.
It's gonna be a permanent thing. So you're on the waterfront at the Y, which attracts kids anyway, and bikes break. They don't last forever. This is like perfect, isn't it? I mean, location and what needs to be done.
Yeah, we are going to be able to offer to the community a place where not only they can like take their bike in, but they get to learn how to fix their bike at the same time. We're not just going to take the bikes in, fix it, and then give it back to them. We're hoping it to be a community space where volunteers will be able to come in, and if someone has to change their tires, change their chain, fix their brakes, do something pretty basic, that we'll be able to work through the problem with them. We have all the tools available. And then, yeah, we'll be able to also host programs where we can just go straight onto the Apple Capitol loop. It's right there. So we can not only do how to fix your bike, but also how to actually enjoy your bike and give people a space to do that.
Has the incredible explosion in popularity of e-bikes brought people back to biking? I'll use myself as an example. I biked everywhere when I was a kid growing up in Wenatchee, because Wenatchee is so compact. You can go wherever you wanted to. You know, you can hop on your bike from your house, so you can be at the mall. in 15 minutes and get exercise. Then you turn 16, you get your license, and you forget about your bike. Now e-bikes have exploded. You see them all over is that brought biking from a traditional sense back again? Because I know a lot of people who just hadn't ridden a bike in 25 years, and now they buy these e-bikes, and they can have the best of both worlds. Is that help in that respect?
Yeah, I think that, again, like that barrier to entry, a lot of people find biking to be really intimidating or have done it in the past, and they find that e-bikes give them a lot more access. You see e-bikes on mountain bike trails now, so those who might not have the stamina or the ability to get up the trail are using e-bikes in that way, or people just recreationally going around town. E-bikes are becoming a lot more popular for that population who might not be able to just traditionally bike.
So how are you getting the word out to the kids that you can, if you go through all of these steps, you're biking and it doesn't cost you a dime out of your pocketbook? How are you getting the word out on that?
So we've been going into schools, doing outreach specifically in classes, at lunch. We did a lot of outreach in September. As Marlene said, I got brought in August, and so really fast turnaround, just hit the ground running with creating a curriculum and then getting the word out, making flyers, going to the schools. Cafe did a lot of work for us, trying, because they have so many connections with the kids in the schools already, that they got us right into the space. And so we talked to classes, we went into the lunchrooms, we really did some guerrilla marketing, just grabbing kids in the hallway and be like, we can give you a free bike. And there was a lot of a really good response in both Wenatchee High School, where we're teaching now, and as well as Pinnacles Prep.
Transportation independence and mobility is a big selling point for a kid. Hey, you're bored? Hop on your bike and go someplace, as opposed to I have no way to get there except walk or take the bus. So good exercise and all that good stuff.
Yeah, good exercise, a good outlet for having a community, health reasons. There's an ample amount of reasons we want to get kids on bikes.
We also want you to get rid of your pumpkin the right way tomorrow on Saturday at Wenatchee High School. You still got your pumpkin left over from Halloween? I don't know if you have a statistical number to throw out there. My guess is almost everybody I know just chucks it in the garbage and calls it good.
Yes,
but
I don't have an exact number, but it's a huge amount that goes in the landfill, and what a necessary thing.
Marlene.
Yeah, all that methane.
So talk about Saturday.
Saturday from 10 to noon at the Wenatchee High School. The Wenatchee School District allow us to be there. We're just going to take up a small space in the parking lot, but we'll have some signs right by the entrance to the high school, so it's easy to find us. I don't know what else is going on, but there might be something going on in the gym or something. But we will be there to collect the pumpkins for free, and then we are going to be working with Winton. We will bringing them. We're going to just put them in the back of our truck that we have for our bicycle programs, but the truck gets to be used for other things. And then we'll be taking them to a cart so that then they can go up to Winton Compost. And what great compost it is. So.
Wenatchee High School is hosting some small school volleyball tournaments, regional and district tournaments on all day Saturday. So if you're planning on going, people, bring your pumpkin with you, because you'll be at the high school to go to the volleyball match, and just go by. And of course, there's no cost for this, right? It's free.
That's right. Yeah, but the donations are always appreciated.
Yeah, and it's pumpkins of any size or shape. All they ask is that you don't still have the candle inside of it. If people even still do that, but it can be carved. It can be. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and then Winton takes it and they compost it.
That's correct.
So,
yeah.
Winton's doing good. They're Winton manufacturing up there, and I'm trying to remember the small town that they're located in by Lake Wenatchee. What's the name of that town? Winton, I believe it's called.
Winton or Merritt. Merritt as well.
They're doing good.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty optimistic guy. I was a little pessimistic because of the location of Winton manufacturing composting, that they may not be able to make a go of it, but I'm wrong.
Yeah,
again.
They have quite a few more customers now down in the Wenatchee area, and they have a hauling service, and they can continue to increase their capacity as more and more customers come online to do, either people who want to be part of the community composting or businesses that can do their compost and then get picked up once a week.
And I'm told it's really good compost. That's what I'm told.
Yeah.
I'm not a composter.
Right.
My brother is, but the word is that the stuff that they crank out is like really good stuff.
Right. They've got all the processes to make sure that it's, they have different, I think they have different types of compost for whatever your needs are. But yeah, it's amazing because it just completes the cycle, because it came from here and it's returning to here for your garden or your orchard.
And even though it's a little off the beaten path, and I'm glad they have this towing thing once a week, it's a perfect campus for that. They got all the room in the world to take care of that.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
cool, good for them. Did we take care of everything with your cohort there to your left? I don't want to leave you. I got notes here, and I want to make sure did we get everything that you're involved in?
Yes, I think the last thing I would want to say is that if we are going to potentially be doing 4 more cohorts in the spring, these are our first 2, so we've worked out a lot of the kinks, and if we don't know exactly which schools we are going to be at next semester, but again, it's a free program, so we can take 15 kids within any cohort, and so hopefully we are able to fill those up in the spring. And if you're interested, or if you know someone who's interested, feel free to reach out, and we can try to get them on to the next cohort we're at their school.
I spend a number of Saturday mornings, if my parole officer allows me to. I go down to the Pybus. I like to hang around there, get some coffee, and just people watch on Saturday mornings when the weather is nice. And you see kids with parents all the time on bikes. That's a great recruiting area right there, because everybody seems to start and end their bike ride at the Pybus.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that we had our bike corral there every farmer's market this year too, and that was a great place to interact, to help with little maintenance things, and to park people's bikes, and then also just to share the word on what we're doing and hear how excited people are about it.
And you got some recruits. We have some other things to talk about. Rick, thank goodness Rick is off camera. I need the ratings. The board, you have board members. They cycle in and out. I know a number of them. Is it that time again to recruit board members to Sustainable NCW?
Yes, this is a great time for us to be looking for a few more board members, because we have a few that are moving off, and our programs have grown pretty considerably, and we're kind of just doing our best to kind of make sure we're being financially sustainable too. So we would really like to have particularly board members who have or future board members that have a specialty in background in finance to help us kind of do our financial planning. And also, since our bike program does take up now a large chunk of our time, people who have a passion for bikes would be another thing.
If Beryl's thing doesn't fly, is there a chance you could lose that funding, because you brought the funding in, but you got to bring in some full time? Here she is. Is there a chance that hey, you're not cutting it, so we're going to pull the plug, or is that kind of a permanent thing? Because I love this. And last thing I want to hear is that they took the check away.
I guess we should be thanking our grantors. So the first grant that we got was through Department of Ecology, and then the program that is more, so Beryl is covered partly under the Department of Ecology grant, but that's an air quality grant, and then but the other one is through Department of Transportation and Cascade Bicycle Club, and they're the overseers, which is a big entity, and that has the potential to renew every year for many, many years. So as long as we do a good job, they will continue to partner with us. And it seems like the first year there's a lot of cost of getting things going. Once we get a system going, and I think we've already proven that we've done a cohort within within a month at turnaround, or a couple months. Because I know they've had other partners in the West Side who maybe needed a few more months to get started. So I think they're really excited that we are representing North Central Washington to bring this kind of a program to it, because it's supposed to be statewide through the Department of Transportation. And I think we have a good chance of being able to continue every year for quite a while.
Well, they're going to come knocking on her door and say, it looks like it's going okay. What are we doing wrong? I think that's what's going to be happening with that. So pumpkins, Wenatchee High School parking lot, 10 a.m. to noon, right?
Correct.
10 a.m. to noon. If you show up at 12:01, they'll probably still be there. So get rid of your pumpkins, but don't just toss them in the trash. Bring them to Marlene's organization. They'll make sure that the pumpkins will get composted correctly. You got a lot of stuff on your plate. I know there's some
I
other
have
stuff
a couple
you want
other
to touch
events
on.
I'd love to share.
No, please. I got nothing but time.
Yeah. So the following next week on the 12th, Wednesday, at the museum, we are hosting an educational event for the public that's open and free. We have 4 panelists who are going to share, and we have a moderator who's going to do an awesome job. And it's called Green as a Verb. So they are representing people who last year we hosted an event where it was kind of experts from waste management, Winton, Department of Ecology. This one, it's like people living a sustainable life in one aspect or another. So we have somebody who is a local bike rider. His name's Connor, and he just bikes everywhere. And so he can kind of maybe give us tips on how do you do it in the bad weather, or how do you motivate yourself. We have Deb, who owns Radix Farms. She's going to talk about gardening and organic farming, and kind of how could we take tips from her to kind of do a better job thinking about local agriculture and what we could do in our own yard. And we have Larry, who is a repair kind of expert, and he likes to help his community through repair events. He kind of repairs at the repair cafes at Eastside Rebuild. I'm looking at Beryl because Beryl also works at Eastside Rebuild. She works for both of our organizations. And And then we have Tona, who's from Wenatchee Cafe, to talk about environmental sustainability kind of at the community level. How do we make sure that everybody has access to all of those important solutions? And
that wouldn't be John Connor, my old buddy from Kennedy 3 that you're talking about, who bikes everywhere, because I know he does.
It's Connor
Okay.
Barrows.
Connor, who also bikes everywhere. I might add.
So that's at 7 o'clock at the museum, and it's going to be a really inspirational talk, and we hope that people show up.
And that's on the 12th of this month.
On the 12th, yep. And then in December 2nd, I am doing a presentation with my friend and colleague Steve, who is with Our Valley, Our Future.
Steve Maher.
And we are helping share with a community, and it's at Science on Tap, so that means you can enjoy hearing some science while you're enjoying an adult beverage at Ground Control on December 2nd, and we're going to be talking about the greenhouse gas inventory results for the city of Wenatchee and Chelan County that our two organizations help facilitate. So it's the first time we have the true data on where are our emission sources and what are we doing already to kind of reduce them, and what can we do in the future to try to reduce them.
The valley is prone to dirty air in the wintertime, right? I mean, we get it all, but we get the air inversion.
Mm-hmm.
There's no place for from smoke from fireplaces and carbon monoxide. Is it a tough fight there to keep the air clean in the valley when we get to the bad stale air in December and January?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely things that we can do to kind of like continue to help our community do a better job on thinking about the time of year in terms of and their heat sources, and helping with energy efficiency type of programs that can help maybe with some of the air quality
and,
things.
Well, kudos to Link and everybody who's out buying electrical cars there.
That's right.
They probably just go, ha ha, as they drive by gas stations and remind people they're not polluting the air either. Marlene, it's good to see you. Good luck with your job as well. Again, pumpkins on set. Where am I? It's pumpkins on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon at the Wenatchee High School parking lot, and all the other good stuff. Go to their website, by the way. It's very well done. I know, because I didn't do it. And thanks once again for Rick, the president of the board, for not being on this show. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
Birthdays, office gatherings, and team parties taste better at Abby's. From our legendary lunch and Thirsty Thursday to our monthly giant special, there's always a reason to gather. Family-owned Abby's, your legendary pizza tradition. You asked, and it's back at Abby's. 2 legends, 1 pizza. Half pepperoni, half big Hawaiian. All delicious. It's mouthwatering, loaded with toppings, and happily feeds a family. Order at abbys.com before this legend disappears.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. It's nice outside. Lots of sunshine, 45 degrees. We had some breezy conditions in the early morning hours. You probably heard them. I know I certainly did. And wind's not out of the question yet, but yeah, it's going to be a little breezy at times today, but lots of sunshine from our friends at Colonial Vista. Here's your forecast. 52 our high today. Keep in mind our normal is 48, but no more cloud cover. That's been keeping our overnight lows pretty mild, so no clouds. Pretty cool temperatures all the way down to 33 tonight. Lots of sunshine Saturday. A few clouds very late in the afternoon with a high of 49. It's going to take us a while to get there, too. Also, you could see some fog develop in some locations that are prone to fog. So if that's the case, you might not get up to 49, but I think we will here in the Wenatchee Valley. For Sunday, wrap up your weekend. Partly sunny skies, high of about 52 degrees. And look how warm it's going to be on Monday and on Veterans Day Tuesday, because we got some warmer, moisture air coming up from the south and the west. That's going to feed up into our area, which is going to put temperatures well above normal, almost 10 degrees normal, both Monday and Tuesday. Very pleasant indeed. Of course, the Veterans Day Parade at 11 a.m. on Tuesday, November 11th. That's about the best weather we've had for the Veterans Day Parade in quite some time. All right, have a good and safe weekend. Wherever you go this weekend, take us along. We're portable. We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.